Hey guys, welcome to another episode. So on this episode, I want to be telling you what to do with your nursery, basically nursery management, and some of the challenges you might encounter with your nursery. That particularly some might be very deadly, some might not be, and others might just be. You might just have one or two things you need to do with some, right? Now, if you followed this channel carefully over the last few months, last few weeks, one of the things I have preached is carrying you along through all my journey, nursery stage, transplanting, whatever stage, right, we're at, to carry you through that, right? And what I want to do this morning is show you what it's like to our nursery stage. We've harvested our nursery. We transplanted a major part of it already, so we have some leftover here, and they're showing some signs of infection, which I want to show you, right? Just so you're having this challenge in your farm, in your nursery, you would understand that it's not unique to your nursery. It's pretty much okay. I think I encountered this my first nursery, for some part of it. I encountered this challenge in second nursery, and it's happening again, right? So it's starting to become like a pattern, right? So I just want to show you this and then explain to you how it works. All right. So I don't know if you can see this. I think you can. What you see is yellowing of this leaf, right? Now there are a couple of things that might result in this yellowing, but if you look carefully, some people might say, "Oh, it's early blight, whatever," which I kind of agree with, right? I clearly kind of agree with, and sometimes it's lack of water. You can see this; it's literally losing its firmness. Now, but one of the things I have noticed over time is if your nursery is currently like this, you have zero worries. You do not have to worry. What I would simply encourage is you have to quickly transplant, particularly if you've gotten to transplant stage. Sometimes what is happening is malnourishment, because your nursery tray, which is this very hole here where you put your cocoa peat, your potting soil, and probably mix your manure in, right? It's too small. The plant must have used up all of the nutrient available to it in that cocoa peat with the manure and everything, because this plant requires nutrient just like you require food, vitamins and all that to grow. This plant requires that. Now, a couple reasons I would give is, one, the plant has used up all of the nutrient that is available in one, because each plant, like you see here, occupy a space, right? So there is no way this plant goes on to take from the nutrient here. That's not possible. So once it exhausts the nutrient here, it starts looking malnourished, which is one of the signs of yellowing. Now, plants are not like humans where, you probably see fever and all that stuff, and you liken it to some kind of illness. You can see yellowing of the eye, and you can say, okay, this is jaundice and all that. Most of the infections for plants show in almost similarly, right? That it's always almost yellowing of the leaf. In most cases, it's yellowing of the leaf. Black dotted spots on the leaf. Most times for late blight is the same way. For sometimes for overwatering, excess water, it's the same thing. Sometimes when you underwater it shows as almost the same thing. And sometimes when it's early blight, it shows as almost the same thing, right? So that's why oftentimes when you are in a situation like this, your nursery is like this, then you have to consider the array of options, and have to find ways to treat them in different ways. So you treat the first thing. Sometimes, like what we do here, oftentimes if we are still going to use this nursery, right, is water adequately, and make sure that like adequately means that you water the way you should water, not too much, not too small. So you have to water your water adequately, meaning that you're supposed to water once every morning your nursery. And then having done that, you also make sure that when you're watering next, the upper surface of your nursery tray is not wet, right? So it's pretty much dried up. And the weather condition right now in the southern part of Nigeria that I am is quite very rainy. It's hardly sunny. I think I've seen the sun maybe once in the last 2 weeks, and I'm not exaggerating, right? So it's almost always, the cloud is almost always it's always cloudy, looking like it wants to rain. It's very cold all the time. So there's limited sun, meaning that your plant consumes less water. So that's why you need to moderate your water. Second thing we are going to do to this nursery is that I'm going to get my staff to spray fungicide, right? And that fungicide is going to be mixed with other elements that helps against early blight, which is I'm going to be using Redomi Gold, and then I'm going to be mixing it with Redomi Gold is slightly preventive in terms of fungicide. Then I'm going to be using Blue Snow. Blue Snow is curative, right? Curative. So I'm going to be having that mixture and spraying them on this nursery tray. But again, ideally what I should do is transplant first, primarily, because once you transplant, the older leaves start falling off. So what you do once you transplant is that you treat the possibility of lack of nutrients, because on this nursery tray there's little to nothing you can do, because you can't put more nutrients. You can only spray foliar fertilizer. That can work. So the best I can do here is spray foliar fertilizer, but a more permanent solution is just transplanting them. So number one, you get to moderate their water by transplanting. Secondly, they get to have access to more nutrients when you transplant. And thirdly, you can now adequately treat and spray your chemicals to treat early blight, to treat fungicide curatively and preventively for those that have not been infected, and those that have been infected, cure it. So these are pretty much the things I would do. So if you have a nursery and the leaves are getting yellowish and all that stuff, do not panic, do not worry, right? If it's 21 days already, then go on to transplant. Usually this actually happens in most cases when it is past 21 days. Almost always when it is either close to 21 days or past 21 days. It never happens at the early stage of a nursery. So that clearly explains that there's always something that is lacking, or something that was fine that started losing its efficacy. All right, so that's pretty much what I want to share with you in this video. And then I'll see you in my next video. If this made any sense to you, leave a comment in the comment section. If you have any question, also leave it in the comment section, and I'm going to attend to it as soon as possible. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.